Hello there, good evening. Welcome to Look North. Our top story tonight. A mother and father from Sheffield search for answers after their 2-year-old son died suddenly.
The worst thing that could ever happened, and going to the hospital and not coming home with your child is just like the worst pain that you could ever feel.
Around 50 children's deaths each year are described as sudden, unexplained death in childhood. Also tonight, 82 and a victim of bike theft. Meryl's on a mission to get her wheels back. You won't believe it, police have confiscated a car repaired with wallpaper. And the magic of the Mobo Awards is in Sheffield this week.
Well, it's been a struggle, but I have found a picture with a bit of brightness earlier today. Scarborough looking very nice. A very unsettled week to come, with the risk at least of some snow on Thursday. Join me for that very latest forecast.
The most precious thing has been taken from us, and we don't know why. The words of Jody Dacres from Sheffield, whose 2-year-old son, Addy, he died unexpectedly. Around 50 children's deaths in the UK every year are termed as sudden, unexplained death in childhood. A leading paediatrician believes many of their parents are being let down by the NHS. The BBC's Panorama programme has followed Jody and her husband Gavin as they search for answers. Richard Bilton has the story.
High in the Peak District, Gavin Dacres is on his way to a job.
I'll be there in 5 minutes.
But this last year hasn't been about work.
Not really. An hour goes by when I'm not thinking about it.
He's coping with the loss of his 2-year-old son, Addy.
I've tried to block it out most of the time. We want to find out if something's been missed. That's how we both feel.
We have followed Gavin and his wife, Jody, as they search for answers.
With Addy, it's like an instant bond.
Addy was adopted by Gavin and Jody at 8 months old.
It was just such an easy, happy baby.
It's all we both wanted. When Addy started speaking and calling Daddy, for me, it's nothing better.
He was apparently fit and well when he died in his sleep 15 months ago.
This is going to be tough, but tell us what happened in the morning.
I just went in like any other morning and we just laid face down and I just tried to wake him up.
And then obviously just the worst thing that could ever happened, and going to the hospital and not coming home with your child is just like the worst pain that you could ever feel. It's just like, I didn't want to leave him on his own.
It was classed as sudden unexplained death in childhood, or SUDC. It happens about once a week in the UK. No symptoms, warnings or explanation.
Have you looked through his records?
No, it's not even in layman's terms or anything.
The inquest is coming up and Gavin's father-in-law has come over to help him prepare.
Well, if there's anything on there that you think that you could ask questions on.
The Dacres should be getting some help from an NHS key worker, according to government guidelines.
I've just phoned up. It's on the website and they said they don't deal with it. That's probably the 4th, maybe 5th solicitor I've tried contacting.
Because you were told to get legal representation for the inquest, which is approaching fast.
Yeah.
And when you ring a solicitor, they're just saying they can't help.
Yep. No, everyone. It's just near on impossible.
But the family feel they've not had enough support.
Just want to scream, want to get hold of somebody and say, please help and get some answers.
Sheffield Children's NHS Trust was responsible for supporting Gavin and Jody. It says it recognises there are areas for improvement in bereavement support and it's undertaken a thorough review to do this. It's coming up to Christmas, but there are no decorations here.
Last Christmas was horrible. This Christmas will be the same. I do not want to celebrate it without my son.
It's just like a very difficult time, not feeling too great at the minute.
Can't move on.
Yeah, the most precious thing that you had in your life's gone. And you just don't know why that is.
Smashing, lad. Marvellous. We never really going to be able to grieve properly till we actually know why Addie died, why a 2-year-old child who were full of beans is here at night and then gone next morning.
Early January, and it's an important evening for Gavin and Jodie.
Aye.
They're meeting the pathologist, Professor Marta Cohen, who examined Addie after he died.
So he was a beautiful, well-looked-after child.
Then a fear the parents have carried for more than a year.
You don't think that we could have missed anything?
No.
That...
This is not your fault. I want you to think that he didn't suffer. It's nothing you could have done to avoid.
At last,
Thank you.
some reassurance for the family.
It's just heartbreaking, isn't it? Richard is here now. It's something every parent dreads, is this, isn't it, Richard? What did the inquest into Addie's death actually find?
So it was a couple of weeks ago in Sheffield, and they never did find a solicitous, so Gavin and Jodie had to represent themselves, and they did a really good job. It was very emotional, but they asked their questions, and in the end the coroner recorded a verdict of natural causes with SUDC, which I think is what they sort of feared, because it is a recorded verdict, but it doesn't really mean anything. SUDC means we don't know. We don't know why Addie Dacres died, and that's not great for them or for any other family.
And is there a lack of support when it comes to helping families like Jodie's and Gavin's?
There absolutely is, yeah. I mean, they had a problem getting support. They were offered some, but they didn't feel that they'd got enough. But if you look nationally, the guidelines say that every family that loses somebody has the right to a specialist nurse or a key worker. And more than half of NHS areas, they just don't exist. So that means you're going through this worst possible scenario on your own. You're on your own. And I've met families for this programme, and it is heartbreaking because they don't know which way to turn. And the other big thing is research. We know a lot about SIDS, or cot death as we used to call it, and that's made a difference. Fewer babies die. We know nothing about SUDC. So until that changes, cases like this will keep happening.
But I know the families are very thankful that you're raising awareness of it as well, Richard. So thank you for that. And that is on tonight at 8 p.m. on Panorama if you'd like to see the full documentary. Next tonight, a woman from Chesterfield has been telling the BBC about the moment she found out her mother had been killed by dangerous dogs. Esther Martin, who was 68, died in Essex on Saturday while visiting her grandson. Her daughter Sonia believes the animals that attacked her were XL bully dogs, but police say they're waiting for the breed to be confirmed. A 39-year-old man has been bailed on suspicion of dangerous dog offences.
The owner had left my mum with the dogs and my nephew and had gone off somewhere, even though my mum had raised concerns about them. His direction to my mum, as we understand it, was if the puppies were fighting, that she needed to put a broom in there and distract the puppies with the broom, like run it over the floor, like shake it, to get the puppies' attention so they stopped fighting with each other and they chased the broom. And from our understanding, it was at this point my mum was attacked.
Next tonight, South Yorkshire's Mayor has confirmed £138 million will be made available to Doncaster Council to try and get the city's airport reopened. Members of South Yorkshire Combined Authority will vote next week on a proposal that would see the money spent on creating an airport hub. It's hoped other aviation-related businesses could be brought into the location. Peel Group still own the mothballed airport that closed 15 months ago. Bradford City are working with the police after a report of racist abuse during Saturday's game against AFC Wimbledon. The game had been temporarily halted after a remark was allegedly made towards visiting player Omar Boudjil. Bradford say they've seen an increase in the number of racial hate crimes reported at Valley Parade this season, and they are reviewing CCTV footage. You're watching Monday's Look North, still to come on tonight's programme. The man behind the masks, Leeds comedian Lee Francis, is here to help us both select a worthy winner. An 80-year-old woman says she feels vulnerable after being robbed of her electric bike. Meryl Knapp from Leeds said the battery-powered cycle was locked and parked up while she popped into a local supermarket. Well, footage of the bike being ridden away was captured by another motorist amid appeals for it to be returned by the thieves. Phil Bodmer has more.
Meryl Knapp relies on her electric bike. It provides independence and keeps her active. A keen member of a local cycling group, it also offers an important social outlet too.
It's a huge part of my life. It's a huge part of me keeping fit and keeping myself mentally and active. The group I cycle with are really fabulous. We have a great time. And for me, it's my 2 cycle rides a week are the highlight of a week. They're the things which I try not to miss.
But while she was out shopping, thieves cut through 2 expensive locks before riding off with her precious machine. That moment was caught on camera. Meryl believes e-bikes like hers are being stolen to order.
The video shows that apparently it's a technique people are using now. They come in pairs on a motorbike. The one on the back jumps off, breaks the locks, gets on the bike and leaves. And you could see as they left, they were talking to each other. They were clearly together.
Meryl says the theft took less than 20 seconds. Replacing the bike will cost over £2,500, plus a hefty hike in her insurance premium.
Probably they think it's a sort of a victimless crime, but it isn't, because I mean the last week now I spent constantly, and the next few weeks now, trying to decide how I replace this bike. This bike is immensely important to my life. And you know, they don't recognise that there are victims in this.
The theft has been reported to police and cycle retailers. In the meantime, Meryl has borrowed an e-bike from friends so she can still get around to do the shopping and meet friends. By sharing her experience, she's hoping others won't succumb to a similar crime. Phil Bodmer, BBC Look North, Leeds.
And of course, Meryl's hoping anyone watching this might be able to help her get her bike back. An unusual repair to a Toyota has been spotted by police in Bradford. Take a look at this. A desperate driver has patched up a battered car door with floral wallpaper and brown sticky tape. Police say the driver was reported for using the vehicle in such a dangerous condition.
We see various cars that get wrapped for advertising and things, but we've never seen wallpaper quite like this before. So what this wallpaper is actually covering is a vehicle in a very dangerous condition with sharp, jagged edges. Should that be involved in a collision with a pedestrian, for example, that's going to cause much more serious injuries than an otherwise well-repaired car would.
Now, for the first time in more than 50 years, Worksop could get a direct train line to London. The rail company that runs services from London to East Yorkshire, called Hull Trains, want to expand their business and operate from King's Cross to Sheffield via Worksop. They're promising lower fares and a possible start date of 2025. Here's our transport correspondent, Spencer Stokes.
The days of Sheffield to London trains running via Worksop and Retford disappeared at the end of the 1960s. The so-called master cutler with its dining car and waiters wearing starched white waistcoats harked back to a more elegant era of rail travel. Its revival isn't being proposed, but Worksop could be connected to London again with a direct rail service.
Not expecting it at all, total surprise, and we're just hoping that this will help put Worksop on the map in a big way.
Currently, the North Nottinghamshire town is served by local and regional trains. From next year, London could be less than 2 hours away without changing onto another service.
What does this mean for Worksop?
It's a link that Worksop needs, not only for business people that need to travel to London to do the business and the buying, but also for people coming into Worksop from London. We've got a lot of high street businesses, a lot of independents, and I think this will be absolutely fantastic.
The company behind the plan is Hull Trains. They're what's known as an open access rail firm. 20 years ago they saw a gap in the market and began running trains from King's Cross to Hull. The firm has thrived and is now looking to expand Worksop and Sheffield in its sights.
We are all about that entrepreneurial spirit where we're of no cost to the taxpayer. We have to do things a little bit differently, but what our train will bring is choice for customers, and we believe better value fares as well. And it will open up new links to have that town's name on the departure board at London. King's Cross is quite transformational.
London-born Barry Jackson has lived in Worksop for 40 years, where he runs his Cockney Rebel clothing shop. But he makes monthly business trips back to the capital.
On the day that opens here in Worksop, I will be on that first train. In fact, I would like to think I'll be the #1 passenger going on that train. I'll pay for my ticket, I don't want anything free, but I'll be on that train.
Hull Trains' proposal now needs the green light from the Office of Rail and Road, with a potential Sheffield Worksop London service starting next year. Spencer Stokes, BBC Look North, Worksop.
At the other end of the championship, Leeds boosted their promotion hopes with a 1-0 victory over Bristol City. Willie Gnonto there with the decisive goal. Leeds are third in the table, just 1 point away from Southampton in second place. In League Two, Harrogate held top of the table Stockport to a 1-1 draw. A valuable point for Harrogate this, who are now unbeaten in 5 matches and knocking at the door of those playoff places. And there was added time drama for Doncaster Rovers in their bottom of the table clash with Sutton United. A 96-minute penalty rescuing them a valuable point. Final score 1-1. Now to diving, and Ross Haslam claimed the first World Championship medal of his career by winning bronze in the men's 1-metre springboard. The 26-year-old City of Sheffield diver, who took the European title in this event last year, finished in 3rd place in Doha, and he said the medal means so much after coming back from injury. And there was a silver medal for Skipton's Kat Ferguson at the Cyclocross World Championships. The 17-year-old was one of the favourites to win, but was just beaten to the line by France's Celia Gerry, and being the fierce competitor she is, she was a bit disappointed with that, but it is really a fantastic result at world level. Congratulations to her.
Indeed, thank you, Sally. Now, nominations are open for the BBC Local Radio Make a Difference Awards, which celebrate people doing incredible things for each other and their communities. BBC Radio Sheffield, Radio Leeds and Radio York will host all the award ceremonies. Lee Francis, who plays the comedy character Keith Lemon, is one of the judges. We're going to hear from him in a moment, but first, let's take a look at some of last year's finalists.
June is a real gem of a lady.
Everybody's welcome at Memory Lane. We never say no to anybody.
We literally started with nothing and it just escalated, and it's just non-stop at the minute.
It made me see exactly how bad it is on the streets of Leeds.
Does Mrs Clegg make the school really special?
Yeah, because she's been part of the school for 51 years. She's really kind and fun.
Well saved, well saved.
I am cook here at the Courtyard Cafe, here at Harehill Lane Baptist Church.
I've just done a massive big vegetable crumble.
Fantastic service to the community.
Lee Francis, turn your mobile phone
Sorry,
off.
so unprofessional.
Anyone thought it's your first time in TV?
I've never done telly before.
Lee, you are one of the judges for Make a Difference. That's what it's all about. Normally, it's people like me judging this. How did we get a big name like you on board?
They just asked me. I'm from Leeds. It's a great cause, and I was just telling a story earlier about making a little mogwai. Do you know what a mogwai is?
No.
It's a gremlin when it's furry. Gizmo. I made a little gizmo for a charity, and they auctioned it off, and they got a lot of money for it for this little girl. And it made me just feel really lovely. So then I got asked to do this, and I thought, yeah, I think it's a really lovely thing.
So what are you looking out for? What's going to stand out for you, apart from people making gizmos?
Well, I like the creativity in fundraising. You know, I mean, back in the day, you would just get a bath in some beans, which I think is horrendous, the idea of getting baths in beans. But something creative that's entertaining, but also something where it's gone to a good cause, you know.
Now, while you're here, we should probably talk about your stage show, as if by coincidence.
Yeah, no, I just feel a bit bad that you're asking me about fundraising. Now you're plugging your own stuff.
Well, we had to get you in
Should
somehow.
we not talk about my tour that I'm doing?
No, let's talk about your tour, the first time. And it is the first time, isn't it, that you've done your own stage show?
Yeah, I'm not a stand-up comedian, you see.
So what's taken so long to get you to do this?
I turned 50 last year, and I started doing things that I've not done before, a little bit like that film Yes Man with Jim Carrey, but I'm not saying yes to everything. And I thought, I've never done a tour, so I'll tick that box as well and go on tour and bring all the old characters back. Avid Merrion, the Bear, Amanda Holden's Gran, Myrtle, Urban Fox, and loads of new masks. So it's like a little celebration of the past 20 years of my career, basically. Yeah.
Your mum's up in Yorkshire, so she'll be pleased that you're here for quite a while doing this tour.
Yes, I was with her last night. We went to Farsley Working Men's Club.
Oh,
and,
brilliant. Big shout out to them.
Met all the friends and stuff, yeah, it was nice.
And when you come home, what's the welcome meal?
I don't want to badmouth my mum, but she's a terrible cook.
Sounds like me.
So I'll always say, should we get a takeout? Yeah, it's lovely seeing my mum. My mum's really funny, and I'm excited for her to come see the show.
And does she think you're funny? She enjoys your shows?
I think so. I mean, first time she saw Bo Select, I remember when she said, she went, ooh, don't you swear a lot? Because I've never sworn in front of my mum. And so they make me swear, Mum, I have to, it's in script.
Well, next time you come up, bring your mum on. We'd love to meet her.
She's been in a lot of things I've done. She played Keith Lemon's mum, and she would tell stories. It was all ad-lib, because if you give a line, she can't remember them. And she would tell a story, and I go, Mum, that's my life, not Keith Lemon's life.
I hope you paid her.
I think he would just give her a bag of sweets.
Lovely to meet you, Lee. Thanks so much for coming in.
Cheers.
Well, nominations are open now and they'll close on the 10th of March. Just go to bbc.co.uk, Make a Difference, well, / Make a Difference Awards. And by the way, while we're at it, if there's someone that you think we need to know about, or you want them to tell them about Make a Difference, why not share our post with them on social media? Look for BBC Yorkshire, so BBC Leeds, BBC Sheffield, BBC York, got BBC Bradford on there as well. Get them to follow us as well, and you'll get more great stories from around the region in your daily feed every day. Now, keeping with a little bit of showbiz, the UK's biggest celebration of black music and culture, the Mobo Awards, is coming to Sheffield. The awards themselves will be given out at Sheffield Arena on Wednesday night, but there's plenty of build-up and other events in the city this week. Mark Ansell is at one of them tonight. Mark, it's all yours.
Yes, some of the biggest artists in the music industry are going to be coming to Sheffield on Wednesday night for the Music of Black Origin Awards at Sheffield Arena. But in the build-up to Wednesday, there are several fringe events to get us ready for it, including here at the Crucible Theatre tonight. Mina is DJing behind me, and there are going to be several up-and-coming artists who are going to be rapping and singing soul music, R&B, etc. on the stage here at the Crucible tonight. And we've been asking one of the artists who's going to be performing and the council leader what it's like having the Mobos in Sheffield.
It means a lot to have this opportunity to perform here. Like I said, it was a dream of mine growing up to be able to perform in front of 10 people, never mind a sold-out arena at Crucible, 900 people. So honestly, I'm so blessed to be here, and I'm thankful for Slam Boss, Pat and Push, Mobos and the Crucible for having us all here.
The Mobo Awards is fantastic for Sheffield because it's going to inspire a generation of up-and-coming talent in the city. That's what we're here doing tonight, celebrating that unsigned talent in the city, to give them a platform and to make sure that there's a legacy from Mobos, that we have a fantastic event this week. But it's more than that. It's about inspiring the next generation to take confidence and showing that they can achieve it here in Sheffield.
There are several other fringe events taking place in Sheffield, including tomorrow night for aspiring artists. There's going to be a question and answer session with an industry-leading panel. That's at City Hall, and it's free if you register online. And then on Wednesday, between 10 and 4, there are going to be artists performing at the Winter Gardens in Sheffield, including school children from different schools teaming up to sing a song by Stormzy called Blinded by Your Grace. There's loads going on in the city, and everyone is excited about the Mobo Awards coming here on Wednesday night. We'll be live on the red carpet on Wednesday, and I'll tell you what, everybody is looking forward to it.
Yeah, really exciting for Sheffield. I'll tell you what, though, all those celebs better be wearing the wellies and their woolies, because I hear snow is on the way.
Oh, don't create a media frenzy, Amy.
But I just want to make sure they're dressed appropriately.
Well, we've had so many
up
false alarms, haven't we, this winter? But, I mean, there is a risk, actually, of some snow on Thursday. We'll keep you tuned in, of course, on Look North with the latest forecast. I think Trans-Pennine routes could be a bit of a problem on Thursday, but it's all a long way off. Let's start with a few pretty pictures. The snowdrops out in full force. There's a lot of them, or seems to be a lot of them this year. And the next picture is a beautiful sunrise this morning there in Sheffield. Thank you very much for sending your pictures in. If you've got some nice ones, send them to me on the addresses on your screen right now. So it's a very changeable, unsettled week. At first very mild, then it gets cold with, as we've just discussed, a risk of some snow, at least over the hills on Thursday. Tomorrow then it's pretty unpleasant after what should be a mostly dry start away from the hills. It does turn wet from the west. But the colder air comes down on Wednesday, and then the warm air tries to get back in, and it's where these two meet that there's a risk across Yorkshire of some snow developing on Thursday. We'll firm up with the details in the next 48 hours. At the moment, it's exceptionally mild. A lot of cloud around. That cloud's been bringing further rain and drizzle across the Pennines, where it's been quite unpleasant. So this evening and overnight, more of the same, a lot of cloud. It's very mild. It's often very windy with patchy rain, longer outbreaks of rain into the Yorkshire Dales later. But if you bear in mind, daytime temperatures in February are around about 7. This is a nighttime minima. Most spots in double figures. So tomorrow's high water times, Filey just after midnight, Bridlington and Flamborough around about 1 o'clock. So it might start drying some eastern areas, but we'll see rain sweeping in from the west through the day. Pretty unpleasant stuff with the wind strengthening. A clearance coming in to North and West Yorkshire later in the afternoon. Despite the wind, it will be mild for the time of year at least, with top temperatures coming in at 11 or 12 degrees. And as that clears out of the way, there could be some quite heavy rain to come in places. So if you've got anything planned this week, you've got a bit of flexibility. Wednesday, easily the best day of the week. It looks dry and bright with some sunshine, but we are back in the colder air, 5 or 6 degrees. And it's as this weather front moves back in from the south on Thursday, we see rain, sleet and some snow. The snow largely over the hills, but there could be some at lower levels. Stay posted to your very accurate forecast.
There could be so low. You don't want to commit, do you?
Of course not. It would be unwise.
It would be very unwise. That is it from us. Tom Ingle is here with your late news tonight. Have a lovely evening. Bye-bye for now.